YouTube? Welcome back to my closet. Today I'm going to be doing something that I didn't think I would ever be doing, which is creating like my own at-home face mask using minimal things. I know it looks like it's a lot, but I promise you it's not. I really just have a lot of options for things that you can use. So as of right now, I just have my leggings. I have some old leggings that I was actually planning to throw away that I am now planning to use for this, which I think is perfect. So just kind of like a precursor to all of this. The main reason why I wanted to make this video is because I know that I am not alone in this, and like a lot of other people got to the face mask thing kind of late. When this all first happened, there were people that were saying, you know, like, don't wear a face mask. The only people that need to wear a face mask are, you know, medical professionals and people who actually have symptoms and are actually, you know, going to be putting other people at risk by not wearing one. And now, all of a sudden, everywhere on Time, CNN, they're like, no, like, you need to wear a face mask. But the problem with that is they're not available anymore. They're just not. And so a lot of people are having to resort to use at-home things like I am. And there's a lot of stuff floating around about like what's effective and what's not. And the bottom line is something is better than nothing. So I hope you can get something out. Okay, so just a little rundown of some of the materials that I have here. I do have this like all-in-one like fast and handy sewing kit. I got this from either Kroger or Meijer, I want to say, just to, you know, like stitch up little things. Like there's buttons and stuff like that in here. I recommend that everybody have one just because like you never know, you might need to stitch something up. And there's stuff like safety pins and stuff like that in here that just always come in handy. So yeah, so I do have stuff from this. And in that, the main things that I'm using today is a tape measure, some thread and a needle, and then I do have my pins to kind of like mark where I'm going to be sewing at, and then of course the push cushion, which I think is like so cute and nice, and I always love it whenever I see like seamstress or like just older women in general use this. I think it's just so cute. So I was just like really excited to have it. And then of course my needle and my thread is on here. So yeah, so that's that. And then I do have two pairs of scissors. One pair of scissors is actually for thread that came in the kit, and then the other pair of scissors that I'm going to be actually using to cut through my leggings, just because this is a thicker material. I have some that are like the winter kind, just to be like, I don't know, more insulated, and I have some that are thinner that I think I can get through just fine. So yeah, so I have those. And then I do have really, really big hair ties. So I want to say I mentioned these in my bag video. Like I have really large hair ties to fit all of my hair, which actually come in handy because they can loop around your ear and come to about here on your face. So they're like really perfect length for what we're trying to do today. So I have 4 of those, and I want to make 2 masks at least. So I have those there. And then I do have a hot glue gun. So if you do not have needle and thread handy, you can use a hot glue gun, or just like some Gorilla Glue, I believe would be safe as well, as long as you don't use it immediately because of like fumes and stuff like that. And by the way, this stuff will be washable, but I think it'll be more so hand washable, which should be fine because you should not be leaving the house regularly anyways. So as long as you have a couple of days, you know, in between to where you can wash and let it air dry and then replace the filters in it, I think you should be just fine. And speaking of which, as far as filters, I do not have like the coffee filters for the coffee grains. I don't know who does make coffee that way anymore, unless you work at like an actual office space, but I have a Keurig. So because of that, I've been seeing a lot of people use the dryer sheets like that you use for like your laundry, as long as they're like organic. And I've also been seeing people use paper towel as well to filter in and out, which just acts as like another barrier. I highly recommend that. That's what I'm going to be using today. And then lastly, I did take out the time to just go online and see kind of just like what were the rough measurements and or shapes of how I would use this. So I do have this piece of paper here, and in that you can see kind of the shape that I'm going for there. So that is what we're using. I don't think I'm gonna follow it to a T just because of the way that my leggings are shaped. And specifically at the ends, I want to tease the ends just because that means that we won't have too much to sew for real. And then also, guys, if you are at home and you don't have, you know, a lady that lives in the house with leggings, you are more than welcome to use like old tattered jogging pants and or like basketball shorts. I'm sure you have some of those sitting around that are just handy and that you can use. And that also applies to this as well, just because they are made of some of the same material as well as some of the same pattern. So as long as you cut it to that shape, you'll be fine. All right, so let's get started. I'm actually kind of excited to see how these are going to turn out, just because I am, but yeah. So I'm going to start off with the true gray ones at first, and my plan is to cut these here to kind of make that shape. And no, it's not going to be the exact same shape, just because I feel like the 14 centimeters long is kind of like really long to ask from these, but I am going to cut it to where it still has that curve to it, so it should still be the same general shape. And I'm just going to cut both of the legs like that so that I can then sew this part that we're cutting together and then leave the inside of that open so that we can then put our filters in and take them out like so. So I have cut these down, and as you can see, like I said, these aren't the exact measurements from the back because I knew that this would not be as tall, but it's the same general shape. So I think we're still going to get something really good out of this. And that's how that looks there. And then also you can keep using the rest of these as well, especially if you have, you know, just like older men in the house or something like that, or just people with like large faces. You can still, you know, cut and trim down as far as you need. And even if you just want to cut it down to this simple shape, you still could, because the seams are still sewn. So I think you'll be fine there. All right, so now on to part 2. So what we're going to do is we're going to line these up right next to each other. Correct seam, outer seam, out. So you don't turn them inside out or anything like that. You just leave these as be and you just put them side by side together. So from here, we're going to put pins in them to guide where we sew. So it's going to look like this. Like I said, side by side. That there. You can see these are the bottom of the leggings. And this is the outer part that you would see. So you're going to put a pin through there. We're going to put them all down this way, and then we're going to sew. And by the way, I just have like normal needle and thread, just super typical. And just down the middle. And of course, as you sew, you take these out one by one. All right, now I'm going to get to sewing. Okay, y'all, so now that we have sewn the inside of this in, you can see that we're starting to have what is coming up to be a mask, which is going to be great. So like I said, this side of this is going to be really clean as it is, and you can already start to see this is where the inside of this, where it's open, is where you would put, you know, your filters and things of that nature, and then it would go on your face like so. So that is awesome. So now we're going to take our hair ties and or rubber bands or just simple fabric. That is another thing that you can use with the rest of your leggings that you cut up, or just t-shirts around the house, towels, literally anything that you have, you can use. So what I'm going to do is, and this is awesome just because we didn't have to sew anything else. Literally, it was just this part down in the middle, and then on the sides with our hair ties. So what we're going to do is we're going to put these on like so, and then just fold those down and sew this part down here, and then same on this side. Now, of course, like I said, for, you know, adults or just people with fuller faces, you can make these longer, you can make these wider, you can make these bigger. But that is that there. So I'm going to go ahead and do the exact same thing that I did with this inseam here. I'm going to put pins, and then I'm going to go ahead and hand sew, and I'll be right back. Alright, what's up y'all? So I am back after I have sewn the other half of it, and I think we did it. Okay, so if I put this on ear by ear just like I would any other mask, it fits kind of well. It fits nice. It covers both my nose and my mouth, which I'm excited about. And yeah, it doesn't look bad. It looks very minimalist. My voice probably sound muffled in that, but yeah, it's very minimalist. It's very clean, so I'm super happy about that. Our stitching doesn't look terrible, so that's great. And don't forget, you can still put in all of your filters and stuff like that, change them out. Of course, this is not machine washable, but washable nonetheless. You can hand wash this and, you know, hang it up to dry and be good within the next couple hours. So yeah, so that is that. Now up next, I'm going to make the exact same thing but using a hot glue gun. So I have that warming up, and I'm going to do the exact same steps that I did with the first one. So anywhere where it's sewn or you have any stitching of that matter that we did in the first half of the video, is going to be the exact same thing in the second half. We're just going to be using hot glue. So I'm going to kind of fast forward through that because it's all pretty much the same steps, and I'm going to hit y'all back with the results. Was actually a lot faster and more efficient than like sewing, which I was happy and surprisingly shocked about it. Now I'm not sure how well this will wash, but I guess I'm gonna find out. But the seams were a lot cleaner down the middle, as you can see, so that was great. And then on the sides, I had to do a little bit of adjusting and kind of just like folding and re-gluing a little bit, because I didn't use the pins for each side. I only used the pins down the middle. So yeah, so just, you know, keeping lines straight and stuff like that. And the glue is hot, so it's kind of like once you put something down, and fabric touches fabric with glue, you're kind of like set in stone and done. So I did have to kind of refold a little bit just to get the sizing right, but I think we'll be good. So that is the second one there. The first one, of course, is mine because it's a bit smaller. I personally like sewing a little bit more just because, like I said, I can adjust it. So that was nice. But virtually the exact same effect. So I really urge you guys to try this. They don't have to be plain fabrics, but that's just the legging material and stuff like that that I had on hand. Please let me know, what are y'all doing during this time to, you know, stay safe, stay not bored when you're in your houses. So yeah, let me know in the comments below. I hope this helped y'all, and I will see y'all in the next video. Bye guys.